Dr. William Carter yawned as he stared at his computer screen. The clock on the wall showed 2:30 a.m. He was the only one still working in the lunar research facility. His eyes burned from lack of sleep, but he couldn't stop now. His work on how Earth animals adapted to new environments was too important. A soft beep from his computer made him look up. The signal detector program he had running in the background showed unusual activity. At first, he thought it was a glitch. The pattern was too regular, too precise to be natural. "Computer, run analysis on this signal," he said. The computer worked for a few minutes. Signal origin: deep space. Signal type: artificial. Pattern suggests intelligent design. William's tiredness vanished instantly. He pressed the emergency contact button on his desk. Within an hour, the quiet lab was filled with people. Security officers, scientists, and government officials all crowded around his computer. "It's definitely not from Earth or any of our space stations," William explained. "The signal is coming from just beyond Jupiter's orbit and moving toward us." Nancy Kim, the facility director, looked concerned. "Have they sent any messages we can understand?" As if answering her question, the main screen in the lab suddenly lit up with strange symbols that began to transform into English letters. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are representatives of the Galactic Council, a peaceful federation of 27 species. We have been observing your planet for centuries and believe you are now ready to join the wider galactic community. We will arrive at your orbital station in 3 Earth days for formal introductions." 3 days later, William stood with Linda Rice, the chief diplomat for Earth's United Nations, on the International Space Station. They watched through the viewing window as a massive ship, unlike anything humans had built, docked with the station. The ship was smooth and silver, shaped like a teardrop, and nearly twice the size of the space station itself. It connected to the airlock with technology that seemed to bend and flow like liquid metal. The first aliens to step through the airlock were tall, with blue-tinted skin that shimmered slightly. Their 4 eyes blinked independently of each other, and they wore flowing robes covered in tiny lights that pulsed gently. "I am Ambassadors Lix of the Vordari," the lead alien said in perfect English. "We are among the oldest species in the Galactic Council, having achieved space travel over 50,000 years ago." Linda stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, we welcome you. I am Linda Reyes, Chief Diplomat for the United Nations." As formal introductions continued, William noticed something odd. Several aliens at the back of the group were pointing small devices at the humans. The devices emitted faint blue lights that scanned up and down their bodies. During the diplomatic dinner that followed, William sat next to a Vordari scientist named Killet. The alien seemed fascinated by how quickly William's small cut from a paper mishap had started to heal. "Most interesting," Killet said. "Your cellular regeneration is remarkably efficient." William smiled politely. "It's just a small cut." "Yet your body immediately began repairs. Most fascinating indeed." Later, William pulled Linda aside. "They're taking a lot of scans and samples from us. Did you notice?" Linda nodded. "I did. They seem very interested in our biology for some reason." "Too interested," William said. "I'm going to look into it." As the week of initial meetings continued, the aliens shared amazing technology and knowledge about the galaxy. But they always came back to questions about human genetics, adaptability, and evolution. "We look forward to a productive relationship with humanity," Ambassadors Lix said during the final meeting. "You are uniquely valuable to the galactic community." The way he said, "uniquely valuable," made William and Linda exchange worried glances. There was something the aliens weren't telling them, and William was determined to find out what it was. 6 months had passed since the aliens first arrived. Earth now had its own embassy on Centralis, the massive space station that served as the home of the Galactic Council. The round, ring-shaped station was bigger than any city on Earth, with areas set aside for each of the 27 member species. Jack Monroe walked through the curved hallways of the human section. As a military officer assigned to security, he kept his eyes open for anything unusual. Lately, he had noticed many aliens watching the humans with great interest. "Officer Monroe, you're needed in the communications room," said a voice through his earpiece. When Jack arrived, he found the room empty except for a blinking console. A message had come through on a secure channel. Jack looked around, then pressed the button to play it. The screen showed classified alien documents that had been translated to English. Jack read quickly, his eyes growing wider. Humans demonstrate unprecedented genetic adaptability, remarkable mutation rates. Evolutionary speed exceeds all known species. Potential resource value, maximum priority. Jack downloaded the files to his secure tablet. This needed to be shared with the science team right away. Across the station, Dr. Samantha Patel was preparing for her presentation to the Galactic Medical Council. She had been invited to share human medical advances, though she wasn't sure why alien species would care about human medicine. "Our bodies can heal from most wounds," she explained to the room full of different alien species. "A broken bone might take weeks to mend, but it will heal naturally in most cases." The aliens began murmuring to each other. One tall, thin alien with gray skin stood up. "You say weeks, not years?" the alien asked. "And without genetic engineering assistance?" "Yes," Samantha said, confused by their reaction. "Is that unusual?" The room erupted in excited conversation. Samantha looked at her assistant, Greg, who shrugged. After the presentation, Ambassador Zlix approached Samantha. "Your medical information has caused quite a stir, Dr. Patel," Zlix said. "You must understand, most species in our galaxy have very stable genetics. Evolution for us takes millions of years for even small changes." "That's not how it works on Earth," Samantha replied. "Our planet has gone through many mass extinctions and constant environmental changes. Life had to adapt quickly or die out." "Exactly," Zlix said, his 4 eyes blinking with excitement. "That is what makes humans so interesting to us." Later that day, Jack found Samantha in the embassy cafeteria and showed her the files he had discovered. "They're studying us like we're some kind of special animal," Jack said quietly. "These documents suggest some species want to use human genetic material to help solve their own medical problems." "That explains all the questions during my presentation," Samantha said. "They were shocked by how quickly we heal and adapt." Their conversation was interrupted when alarms began blaring throughout the station. Jack's communication device buzzed with an emergency alert. "Security breach in Science Sector 4. The message read, 'Human biological samples compromised.'" Jack rushed to the science lab with Samantha following. They found several security officers surrounding a nervous-looking alien with 6 limbs and purple skin. "What happened?" Jack demanded from the senior security officer. "This Selner was caught stealing human blood and tissue samples," the officer explained. "Says he was just following orders from his government." Samantha looked at the storage units where human biological materials were kept for official research. Many were empty. "This isn't the first time, is it?" she asked. The security officer shook his head. "We've had several incidents. Some species seem desperate to get their hands on human genetic material." Jack and Samantha exchanged worried glances. The Galactic Council hadn't invited humans to join them as equals. They wanted something from humans that they couldn't get anywhere else in the galaxy. "We need to talk to Dr. Carter and Linda Reyes right away," Samantha said. "I think we're being used." Dr. William Carter and Dr. Samantha Patel sat in the small research lab they had set up on Centralis. Screens around them showed Earth's history of natural disasters, climate changes, and mass extinctions. 5 major extinction events, William said, pointing to a timeline, plus countless smaller ones. Each time, life on Earth had to adapt or die. "And nothing like this happened on other worlds?" Samantha asked. William shook his head. Most planets in the Galactic Council had stable environments for millions of years. Their life forms never needed to change quickly. They had been working for weeks to understand why humans evolved differently from other species in the galaxy. The answer seemed to be in Earth's chaotic, ever-changing environment. It's like comparing animals from the Galapagos Islands to those in a protected zoo, William explained. In the wild, you adapt or you don't survive. Meanwhile, far from Centralis, Elizabeth Ward looked out the window of the U.S. Horizon, the first human deep space ship. The stars streaked by as they traveled faster than light using technology shared by the Galactic Council. Elizabeth was the ship's doctor, monitoring the health of the crew during this historic mission. She frowned at the medical readings on her tablet. "Captain, can I speak with you?" she asked, approaching Captain Steve Rogers. "What's wrong, Dr. Ward?" "Nothing's wrong." "Exactly," Elizabeth said. "But something strange is happening. The crew's bodies are adapting to space conditions much faster than expected. Our bone density loss is only 10% of what it should be, and our radiation resistance has doubled in just 2 months." The captain looked surprised. "Is that dangerous?" "No," Elizabeth said. "It's good news, but it's not normal. Humans shouldn't adapt this quickly." She sent her findings to Dr. Patel on Centralis, who shared them with William. "This confirms our theory," William said excitedly. "Humans adapt faster than any other species in the galaxy." Later that week, they attended a special meeting of the Galactic Council. Ambassador Zlix stood before representatives of all 27 member species. "Many of our worlds are facing a crisis," Zlix announced. "After millions of years of stable genetics, our species are struggling to fight new diseases and environmental challenges. Our scientists believe human genetic principles could help solve these problems." Linda Reyes stood up. "So this is why you invited us to join the council? To use our genetics? To learn from them?" Zlix corrected. "Humans are unique. Your rapid evolution could save many species from extinction." From the back of the room, a harsh voice spoke up, "Or it could threaten us all." The voice belonged to General Kraz of the Krex, an insectoid species with hard shells and 4 arms. The Krex were known for their military power in the galaxy. "Humans are unpredictable," Kraz continued. "They change too quickly. How can we trust a species that is still evolving? They are dangerous, like an uncontrolled experiment." Several other species nodded in agreement. Linda tried to calm the situation. "We came here in peace. We want to help if we can." "And we thank you," Zlix said. But General Kraz raises concerns shared by many. "Throughout the galaxy, evolution is slow and careful. Species don't change much in 1,000 years. But humans, you can adapt to new challenges in a single generation. That's what helped us survive on Earth," William explained. "We had no choice." "Exactly," said General Kraz. "You evolved in a war zone. It made you survivors, but can creatures shaped by such chaos truly fit into our civilized galaxy?" The meeting ended with tensions high. As they walked back to the human embassy, Jack Monroe joined William, Samantha, and Linda. "I don't like how some of these aliens are looking at us," Jack said. "Like we're either a miracle cure or a deadly virus." "We're neither," Samantha said firmly. "We're just humans." "And that," said William, "seems to be both our strength and our problem." Dr. Samantha Patel hadn't slept in 3 days. Her lab on Centralis was filled with screens showing genetic codes and simulations. After weeks of hard work, she had created something amazing. A therapy that could help alien species overcome their genetic stagnation. It works by introducing controlled adaptability factors from human DNA, she explained to William and Linda. It doesn't change who they are, but it gives their bodies the tools to adapt like we do. "This could change everything," William said, looking at the test results. "If this works, we could help every species in the council." While Samantha worked on her breakthrough, Jack Monroe was busy with his own discovery. He had been tracking suspicious communication between several council species. In a hidden data hub, he found evidence of a secret agreement. "Look at this," he told Linda, showing her his tablet. 7 species have agreed to limit human expansion, while extracting our genetic material for their own use. They don't want us as partners. They want us as a resource. Linda's face darkened with anger. We need to confront Ambassador Zlix about this. That evening, Linda met privately with Zlix in the diplomatic lounge. The blue-skinned alien seemed uncomfortable under her direct gaze. Is it true that humans were invited to join the council primarily as a biological resource? Linda asked. Zlix's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. That is partially correct. But you must understand our situation. Many species in the council have existed for millions of years without significant evolution. Now, with new threats emerging across the galaxy, we face extinction because we cannot adapt quickly enough. You should have been honest with us from the beginning, Linda said. Would you have joined us if we had? Zlix asked. Before Linda could answer, Samantha called with exciting news. The first trials of her gene therapy have begun, with volunteers from various alien races receiving treatments. In the medical center, aliens from 6 different species waited nervously for their treatments. A female Vordari named Tellis was the first volunteer. My people haven't evolved in 50,000 years, she told Samantha. Many of us are dying from simple climate changes on our colony worlds. After receiving the therapy, Tellis and the other volunteers were monitored closely. Within days, the results were clear. The therapy was working. The aliens showed improved health and signs of adaptation. Their immune systems are stronger, Samantha explained to a group of council scientists. Their bodies are learning to adjust to new environments without massive genetic engineering. The news spread quickly throughout Centralis. Humans were no longer seen as just strange newcomers, but as potential saviors for many species. Requests for the therapy flooded in from across the galaxy. But not everyone was happy. General Kraz and his Krex faction saw the therapy as a threat to the galactic order. This human technology gives too much power to lesser species, Kraz argued in a council meeting. The natural order must be preserved. That night, alarms blared through the medical center. Jack rushed in with security officers to find the therapy lab in chaos. Equipment was destroyed, and sample containers were smashed on the floor. Sabotage, Jack said, examining the damage. Security footage shows Krex soldiers. The diplomatic crisis exploded across the council. The Krex denied involvement but called for humans to be expelled from the council for dangerous interference in natural evolution. Linda and her diplomatic team worked tirelessly to maintain human standing in the council, while Samantha and William rushed to salvage their research. They can destroy our lab, Samantha said firmly, but they can't erase what we've learned. We'll start again. And we'll be more careful this time, William added. The Krex may hate us, but there are billions across the galaxy who need our help. Jack looked at the destroyed lab. This isn't just about medicine anymore. This is about the future of humanity in the galaxy. The emergency alarm woke everyone in the human section of Centralis. Linda Reyes rushed to the council chamber where representatives from all species had gathered, many looking afraid. A dangerous virus is spreading through 5 star systems, announced Ambassador Zlix, his blue skin paler than usual. It attacks neural pathways and has already killed millions. Our medical teams cannot stop it. Images appeared on the large screens showing hospital ships and quarantine zones. The affected aliens lay in beds, their bodies unable to fight the strange disease. Their immune systems aren't adapting to the virus. Dr. William Carter whispered to Samantha. They've been genetically stable for so long that they have no natural defense. Samantha studied the medical data flowing across her tablet. What about humans? Have any been infected? The answer came from Elizabeth Ward, calling from the U.S. horizon, which had been near one of the infected zones. 4 of our crew were exposed, Elizabeth reported. They got sick for about 3 days with fever and headaches, but then they recovered completely. Their bodies adapted and fought off the virus. This news caused excited murmurs around the council chamber. Even species that had been suspicious of humans now looked at them with hope. We need your help, Zlix said formally to Linda. Your people seem resistant to this plague. Will you send medical teams to the quarantine zones? Linda looked at William and Samantha, who both nodded. We will help, Linda said, but we'll need your full cooperation and resources. Within days, William was leading a research team to the main quarantine zone. Jack Monroe went along as security, and they brought scientists from several alien species. They wore special suits as they entered the medical station orbiting a blue-green planet. The virus changes quickly, explained Frill, a frog-like alien doctor. By the time we develop a treatment, it has already mutated. William examined patients while Samantha analyzed virus samples. After 3 days of non-stop work, they made a surprising discovery. This virus isn't natural, William said, pointing to patterns in its structure. It was engineered. See these repeating sequences? They're too perfect. Someone created this plague, Jack asked, his hand moving to his weapon. Yes, Samantha confirmed. And they designed it specifically to attack species with stable genetics. That's why humans can fight it off. Our adaptable immune systems recognize and counter the engineered parts. Jack immediately increased security around the research station. His team found and blocked several unauthorized communication signals coming from a nearby system. Meanwhile, the human researchers worked with blood samples from the crew members who had recovered. Their antibodies became the basis for a treatment that could help infected aliens. Their bodies can't adapt quickly like ours, Samantha explained, but we can give them our antibodies to fight the virus until a permanent cure is found. As the treatment began helping patients, William made another discovery. The virus contained tiny markers, like a signature from its creator. I've isolated the markers, he told the team. They match a signal pattern coming from beyond Council space. Whoever made this virus is out there, watching how it spreads. That night, as the research team slept after days of exhausting work, all communication systems suddenly activated. Screens throughout the station showed the same strange symbol, a spiral with 3 stars. A deep voice spoke in perfect English. Impressive adaptation, humans. You have proven yourselves worthy of notice. We are the architects, and we have been testing the species of this galaxy for millennia. Most have failed our test of adaptation. You have not. Jack rushed to wake William and Samantha. By the time they reached the communication center, the message was repeating on all channels, in all languages. The architects, William whispered. They created the virus as a test. And now they want to talk to us, Samantha said, her voice both afraid and curious. The research station buzzed with activity as representatives from the Galactic Council arrived to meet with the human team. Everyone wanted to know more about the mysterious architects who had created the virus. They've agreed to a direct communication, William told the gathered group. We'll be able to speak with them in 1 hour. Jack Monroe doubled the security around the communication center. No one knew if the architects were friendly or dangerous. When the time came, the main screen lit up with the spiral and 3 stars symbol. Then it changed to show a figure that surprised everyone. The architect looked almost human, except for silver skin and eyes with star-shaped pupils. I am Sentinel, voice of the architects, the figure said. We have observed this galaxy for over 10 million years. Linda Reyes stepped forward as Earth's representative. Why did you create a virus that killed millions of innocent beings? Sentinel's expression didn't change. We test and cull stagnant species. Those who cannot adapt will eventually fail when natural disasters strike. It is more merciful to remove them before such events occur. The room filled with angry shouts from the alien representatives. Slicks moved next to Linda, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly. You have no right to judge who deserves to live, Slicks said. We have every right, Sentinel replied calmly. We seeded life throughout this galaxy. We watch. We test. We prevent evolutionary dead ends. William joined Linda at the front. You said humans passed your test. Why? Your species maintains genetic dynamism despite developing technology, Sentinel explained. Most species become static once they no longer face survival pressures. You continue to change and adapt. This is rare and valuable. Samantha studied the architect on the screen. Something about their genetics seemed familiar. Your own genetic code, she said suddenly. It has patterns similar to the therapy I've been developing. Sentinel nodded. Perceptive. We too were once like other species until we engineered our own evolution. Now we guide the galaxy's development. Linda tried to understand what this meant for humanity. What do you want from us? Nothing, Sentinel said. We offer recognition. You may join us as caretakers of evolution, or continue your own path. The choice is yours. When the communication ended, the council representatives exploded into argument. Some wanted to declare war on the architects. Others suggested surrender. Many looked to the humans for guidance. Linda met privately with Slicks afterward. The council is falling apart, Slicks admitted. Some members believe we should use human genetics to evolve and fight the architects. Others reject all evolution as unnatural and dangerous. And what do you think? Linda asked. I think we need a middle path, Slicks said. One that humans might help us find. Meanwhile, Samantha made an important discovery. She analyzed the architect's image and genetic information they had shared. Their genetic enhancement techniques are similar to what I've been working on, she told William and Jack, but much more advanced. They've been doing this for millions of years. Jack frowned. Could they have influenced human evolution in the past? I think they might have. William said slowly. There are periods in Earth's history where humans made surprising evolutionary jumps. What if the architects gave our ancestors a small push? The next day, as the team prepared to return to Centralis, they received an urgent message from Elizabeth Ward aboard the U.S. Horizon. We've encountered an architect vessel at the edge of explored space, Elizabeth reported. They've invited our captain aboard. They say they want to talk about humanity's future in the galaxy. The news reached Slicks, who rushed to find Linda. This is unprecedented, Slicks said. In all our history, no council species has ever been invited onto an architect ship. What does it mean? Linda asked. It means they see humans differently than the rest of us, Slicks said. Not as subjects to be tested, but as potential equals. William, Samantha, and Jack exchanged looks of concern and pride. Humanity had caught the attention of the galaxy's oldest power. Now they needed to decide what to do with it. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from all 27 member species filled the seats, their voices creating a storm of sound. The issue that divided them was clear: how to respond to the architects. 3 main groups had formed. The first, led by the Vordari, wanted to use human genetics to evolve and fight. The second, with the Krex at its head, rejected evolution as unnatural and dangerous. The third, a smaller group of species, sought peaceful cooperation with the architects. This is getting us nowhere, Linda Rice whispered to William, as another shouting match broke out. Back on Earth, similar debates raged in government halls. Some leaders wanted to fully join the council, others wished to align with the powerful architects, and many argued for an independent path. Humanity must make its own choice, said the Earth president in a worldwide broadcast. We cannot allow fear or greed to guide our future in the stars. Dr. William Carter was not part of these political debates. He had returned to his lab on the moon, searching for answers in ancient human DNA. Look at this, he told Samantha over a video call. I found unusual genetic markers in samples from early human populations. They don't match any natural mutation patterns. Samantha leaned closer to her screen. They look artificial, almost like someone made small adjustments to our ancestors, William finished. Not enough to control our evolution, but enough to nudge it toward adaptability. The evidence was hard to deny. The architects had subtly influenced human evolution thousands of years ago, giving early humans slight advantages in adaptability without controlling their development. On the U.S. horizon, Elizabeth Ward and Captain Rogers prepared for their historic meeting with the architect vessel. The ship was massive, shaped like a perfect sphere with no visible doors or windows. As they docked, a section of the sphere simply vanished, allowing them to enter. Inside, they found corridors that seemed to be made of living metal that flowed and changed. Sentinel greeted them in a room that showed the galaxy spinning above them. "Welcome, humans. You are the first council species we have invited as guests rather than subjects." "Why us?" Captain Rogers asked directly. "Because you have achieved what we hoped was possible," Sentinel explained. "Natural evolution that continues despite technology. Most species stop changing once they no longer face survival pressures. You have not." Elizabeth studied Sentinel carefully. "What do you want from us?" "We want you to have a choice," Sentinel said. "Join us as caretakers of evolution in this galaxy, or chart your own path. Unlike the others, we will not force your decision." When Elizabeth reported this conversation to Earth and Centralis, it sparked new debates. Many feared a trap, while others saw opportunity. Jack Monroe and his security team discovered evidence that both the architects and the council had agents on Earth, each trying to influence humanity's decision. In a private meeting with Linda, Ambassador Zlix made an emotional plea. "Your people could save us, Linda. With your genetic knowledge, we could adapt and survive without the architect's approval." Linda listened carefully, then asked, "And what would humans get in return? Protection? Technology? Or would we just become your evolution machines, creating better versions of your species while being kept in our place?" Zlix had no good answer. Later that day, Linda met with William, Samantha, and Jack to consider humanity's options. "The council wants to use us," Jack said. "The architects want to study us. Neither sees us as true equals." Samantha nodded. "We need a third option." "I think I have one," Linda said. "We offer to share our genetic adaptability knowledge freely with all species, but we refuse to be exploited or controlled." William smiled. "Teaching rather than being used. I like it." Linda drafted her proposal that night. Humanity would establish itself as neither subject nor master, but as teachers and partners. They would help other species adapt and evolve, but on equal terms. "This is our moment," she told her team. "Humans won't be tools or weapons. We'll be guides to a better future for the whole galaxy." 5 years had passed since first contact. Humanity's position in the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. After Linda presented her plan, both the council and the architects were surprised. They had expected humans to choose sides, not create a new path. But Linda's vision of humans as teachers rather than tools had won support from many species. Now William Carter stood on the observation deck of the new station named Evolution Point. It orbited a star at the edge of Council space, built jointly by humans, Council species, and with quiet approval from the architects. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Samantha said, joining him at the window. Below them, ships from dozens of species docked at the massive ring-shaped station. 5 years ago, I was alone in a lab on the moon," William said with a smile. "Now look at us." Evolution Point had become the galaxy's center for adaptive medicine and genetic research. Dr. Patel's gene therapy program was now helping hundreds of species overcome genetic stagnation. "The Bolian delegation arrives tomorrow," Samantha said. "Their entire species is suffering from a genetic disorder that appeared after centuries of no evolution. They're hoping we can help." "We will," William said confidently. On another part of the station, Jack Monroe led training exercises for the new multi-species security force. Under his guidance, they combined human tactical adaptability with the unique abilities of alien species. "Adjust your strategy," Jack called out as the training scenario changed unexpectedly. "Remember, the enemy won't always follow patterns." His students, a mix of humans and aliens, quickly reorganized their approach. Jack nodded with approval. They were learning to think like humans. Adaptable, flexible, always ready for change. Meanwhile, Linda Rice was preparing for a council meeting. As Earth's ambassador, she had helped reshape the relationship between humans and the galaxy. Ambassador Rice, a young aide said, rushing into her office. Urgent news from the border. The Kreks are moving warships toward Council space. The Kreks had never accepted humanity's role in the galaxy. For years, General Kraz had claimed that human influence was corrupting the natural order. Now, it seemed he was ready to act. The crisis unfolded over the next few days. The Kreks and their allies attempted a military coup of the Council, using weapons designed to target species who had received human gene therapy. But they had underestimated how much the galaxy had changed. The combined adaptive strategies of human allied forces quickly overcame the Kreks' advantages. Within a week, the coup had failed, and General Kraz was captured. "You cannot change the natural order," Kraz insisted as he was brought before the Council. "Each species has its place. Evolution is the natural order," Linda replied calmly. "Change is the only constant in the universe." After the Kreks' defeat, a new era began. Humanity was recognized not as a resource to be exploited, but as the galaxy's favorite evolution machine. Teachers, healers, and innovators, helping the galaxy embrace change while maintaining peace. The architects maintained their distance, but sent a message of approval. "You have found a better way than our tests. We will watch with interest." 5 years to the day after first contact, William Carter stood on the bridge of a new exploration vessel mapping uncharted space. His crew included humans and aliens, all united in the search for knowledge. William raised a glass in a toast. Around him, beings with different shapes, colors, and biologies raised their own drinks. "To evolution," William said. "May we all keep changing together." As their ship moved through the stars, the galaxy ahead was full of unknown wonders and challenges. But thanks to humanity's gift for adaptation, they would face whatever came next, not as separate species, but as a united, ever-evolving family.